call vote of the members present.
Thank you.
Councilmember Andre Dickens. Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet.
Present.
Councilmember Antonio Brown. Councilmember Amir Faroki. Councilmember Jennifer N. Ide.
Here.
Councilmember J.P. Matzakite.
I was here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I have you, Councilmember Ide. Councilmember J.P. Matzakite. Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. Okay. Madam Vice Chair, we have 2 members present right now. I am texting the other council members to see if they can join.
Thank you.
Councilmember Andre Dickens present.
Present.
Okay. I believe, Madam Vice Chair, we are awaiting either Councilmember Matzakite or Councilmember Westmoreland to join shortly. Madam Vice Chair, I believe Councilmember Matzakite has joined electronically. If you want to go ahead and make a motion to reconvene the meeting.
Sure. I move that we reconvene Transportation Committee meeting. Is there a second?
Second, Dickens.
Oh, so Dickens is here. Well, sure. Let's go ahead on and invite Marta in to present. We're ready for the Marta presentation.
Okay. Madam Vice Chair, if we can complete the motion to reconvene.
Thank you. Yes, let's motion by Overstreet, second by Dickens. Please prepare the vote.
And the vote is open.
Mr. Pace, I got dropped from the system, but Ide is a yes.
Okay, thank you. Please vote. Councilmember Matzakite, how do you vote? One moment, please. Madam Vice Chair, we're waiting one other member to join the meeting to reconvene, but since we have no other voting items, I believe we can move forward with Marta's presentation. And once the fourth member joins, we can reconvene the meeting.
This is Jeff Parker, General Manager, CEO at MARTA. I'm ready whenever the committee is ready for me. Just want to make sure you can hear me.
Oops, I was on mute. Sorry. Yes, we are ready for you, Mr. Parker. Let's get started. Thank you. Welcome, Marta.
All right. I do have a presentation, and I assume that you'll be able to see it on the screen, and I'll let the person advancing the slides know what slide I'm on periodically in next slide. So I'd like to go to the agenda, page 2. I'm going to cover several items, beginning with an update on our federal outlook, and then spend some time talking about all of the projects that we're delivering for the City of Atlanta related to our More MARTA 2040 program. So next slide, page 3, federal update. And if you could move right to page 4. As I think most are aware, Congress has been moving forward with advancing a surface transportation reauthorization bill, critical to not only public transportation but other modes as well. We believe that the version that the Senate has recently passed provides some great opportunities for MARTA with additional funding and some minor changes to the program, but that will have a significant impact to our ability to deliver projects here in the City of Atlanta. The bill would support, the Senate bill will support about a 30% increase in our formula funds. And then, although a minor change to the program has a significant impact to us here in Atlanta, the Small Starts program, we saw a variety of projects within the More MARTA program that we were focusing on to seek funds through the Small Starts program. The Senate version increases the eligibility to $400 million from $300 and increases the federal share from $100 million to $150 million. Senator Warnock was key in getting this change in the Senate version of the bill. So we're excited about that. And then we also know that we both have a Secretary of Transportation who is well aware of the needs of Metro Atlanta and Atlanta, and will be administering several additional grants programs that will come to him and his office. So the House is committed to vote on this infrastructure bill by the end of this month, before September 27th, and we hope that the bill will move into becoming law and get to the President's desk. So we're excited about that opportunity. And that opportunity, next slide, page 5, provides a great funding source that's needed and anticipated to deliver the projects related to the More MARTA expansion program. If you could go to the next slide, page 6. I do want to talk a minute about our new rail cars. MARTA is in the process of replacing all of our rail cars. I do want to let you know that I did hear a reference to the rail cars by an individual, and I think our staff's already reached out to folks on the committee to get contact information, raising some concerns about safety of the design of the vehicles. I'm not quite sure what this individual was reacting to based on a simple picture. This picture is really designed to articulate to our customers and garner their feedback around the exterior color and the logo of the vehicle. But since this individual did raise an issue of safety, I do just want to take a minute to talk about how we focus on safety at MARTA on all of our projects, including a project like this. We have a independent safety department that is responsible for monitoring safety. One of the things that they are responsible to do is to certify all of the safety elements of any capital investment project on a rail side. Ultimately, I would have to approve that as well. And we are going through that process now. We take this very seriously, and I want to assure everyone on the committee as well as the public that safety is foremost in the design of this vehicle. And I'll quickly point out, just very, very quickly, one of those key safety elements. Right now, the current design of the vehicle, as you can sort of see, the front window does have a divider between them. And you'll notice that it's not perfectly centered, and that's because the front of the vehicle has a door on it that would swing open, as our current rail cars do. But the safety feature that we're looking to improve on this is the worst sort of case scenario is having to evacuate a train quickly. And this vehicle will actually have a step that will. The operator will be able to very easily deploy in the rare event that we would have to evacuate patrons onto the track. We usually do it either onto a platform or bring a car up alongside. So we're focused on safety with this, and I want to assure you that is paramount in terms of what we do. And then ultimately, GDOT provides federally mandated state safety oversight for us, and they have a role in making sure that we are adhering to all the safety principles in all these capital projects. Next slide. Bus shelter update. We continue across the MARTA system, but in particular, I'll speak to what we're doing here in Atlanta, continuing to bring just a number of amenities to our bus riders. This falls into the category of little things matter. You can see on this map all of the installed in FY20, the permitted, in design, and existing amenities. So you can see that we have, we're installing bus shelter amenities. Most of them are shelters throughout the city of Atlanta. In many cases, you can see them clustered together, and that's just largely because we have very busy bus routes along, and we're installing shelters along those corridors. And as we continue to advance our goal of installing 1,000 additional amenities in a 5-year program, by the end of 2020, the city of Atlanta will have received at least 114 new bus shelters. So we're excited about that. And next slide just gives you a quick before and after of one of the shelters that we've installed along Route 96, and how that really improves the amenities for our patrons, and really a great example of how it connects into the sidewalk system along this corridor. So we're excited about that. The next slide, the City of Atlanta sequencing, page 9. I have included, because this was a point of conversation at my last quarterly briefing, a timeline of the projects that we're working on, just to orientate the committee on this timeline. This is the timeline that was laid out in concert with the City Council, ultimately approved by the board. We remain on schedule with all of these projects. The red line that goes up and down are really the areas of focus for us. In the first 5 years, we have a variety of projects, and they're laid out here. And I will be stepping us through the update on those projects. So if we go to page 10, next slide, Summerhill BRT. This will be the, as you know, the first bus rapid transit system in Metro Atlanta. We're excited to work with the city to bring this new technology to this quickly growing corridor, and we have moved into the design phase. We've brought on a final designer, advancing the design of 16 transit stops with amenities that will, begin to mirror what you would see in a rail system with level boarding and more security cameras off-site, fare collection so that the buses can move quicker, working closely with the city to, and in some cases GDOT, around signal prioritization. So this project is moving forward well. It is funded through a grant from the FTA, and we are on track for BRT service to begin in 2024. Next slide, Campbellton Road Corridor, page 11. MARTA's advancing the planning and design of this high-capacity system along the Campbellton Road Corridor. We've had a significant amount of public outreach over several months, and really want to thank the council members in this area who have been so supportive of making sure that we are touching our customers and the neighbors and your constituents who live along this corridor. So I think we've done a great job in advancing this. Our head of capital programming has been working on a kind of a internal readiness review, making sure that we have everything in place. And we'll be coming back early in the beginning of next year with finalizing the mode and the locally preferred alternative, and on schedule with advancing this project. Next slide. Streetcar East Extension. This is page 12. We are well aware of the needs and the desires to advance transit on the BELTLINE. Working with Atlanta BELTLINE Inc. as a partner to make sure we do it in a way that provides a safe environment. And what we're focusing on here is a relatively simple extension of the streetcar onto the BELTLINE, basically to the vicinity of Ponce de Leon Ave, just south of there. We have a whole host of activities going on, travel modeling to understand how this will work with traffic impacts and on the BELTLINE. Our public engagement continues. We are on track. This is one of the earlier projects that we'll be delivering. We're in the preliminary engineering phase, and this is one that we thought was important to advance with all local money so that the federal process didn't slow us down. It's a relatively smaller project for a streetcar project, and then we will continue to focus on kind of the larger rail on the BELTLINE and fully trying to understand the whole cost of implementing that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the project. Two of our smaller projects, some of the bus arterial rapid transit systems are moving along. We're headed towards the completion of the 30% design in these two corridors. These were two corridors that were both prioritized in the More MARTA program, but also identified by the city through the Atlanta City design as corridors of growth. And we're advancing these two projects with a intended date of putting these in service by 2024. And these are great examples of small starts projects that will benefit from the changes in the legislation that Senator Warnock was so helpful with. Next slide, 14, 5 Point Station at the center of all things MARTA. We are undertaking a significant investment both through the City of Atlanta funds as well as through some existing sales tax dollars, the 1 cent sales tax, to refurbish the station. This is some examples of renderings of what we intend to have the station look like. We will keep the historic facade that you can see on the right hand within the station. That's an important piece of the historic notion of the station, but really providing a better, more comfortable environment for our patrons. The other piece of it is not only the investment underground, but a significant exterior transformation. We've hired a world-renowned engineering firm, Skidmore, Owens & Merrill. This is some pictures of work that they've done around the country. Some projects that I know you're all familiar with, from the Moynihan Terminal, which is next to Penn Station in New York City, to Denver Union Station, a privately financed BELTLINE project in Miami, Florida. So we know we've got a world-class designer to help us transition and transform the exterior of the station, and ultimately bring it to a point where we can eventually, sort of post World Cup, have a significant development at the station. We recognize that we're neighbors to a significant number of businesses like CIM, who are investing billions of dollars into the downtown area, and we see the investment that we're making as a way to help move along and facilitate some of the private investment that's happening. Next slide, the TOD slide. We've got a whole host of projects that are going on. I want to spend a few minutes sort of giving a quick update on these. I'll start with the King Memorial Edgewood Candler Park TOD. It's currently under construction and will deliver 153 affordable housing units in the next 6 months. In preparation of the King Memorial TOD, we leveraged our ARTBOUND program and worked with an artist, a local artist who actually lives here in the city, Adam Bostic and his team, on the beautification of the Grand Street Tunnel. We were glad to have one of your fellow council members and my council member, Councilmember ARTBOUND, attend the opening with the reflections, and it was a great opportunity to really make the area under that underpass more welcoming, as we're building a significant investment on property on the northern side of the railroad tracks. The southern side of the railroad tracks. We continue to move forward with the procurement and planning of work necessary related to the TOD RFP at the 7 stations that exist within federal opportunity zones. The MARTA board approved all these projects as mixed-use, mixed-income housing development projects that could generate up to 1,000 affordable units over the next 5 to 10 years. So we're really excited about continuing MARTA's effort in improving the availability of affordable housing, but not only just affordable housing, but accessible to public transportation. In order to support this MARTA's affordable housing work, we've also worked closely with a private investor, Goldman Sachs, and MARTA, in conjunction with Goldman Sachs, has set up a $100 million initiative. Goldman Sachs is committed to invest their capital in projects within a mile of MARTA heavy rail stations in the streetcar, with a priority for Black women developers and minority developers. And as we know, none of these affordable housing projects can ever happen if they're not financeable. And so we're excited to work with Goldman Sachs to provide the developers who are ultimately implementing these projects with strong strategies in order to support the financing of these important projects. And finally, with Invest Atlanta, we're preparing to reopen the iVillage in September. MARTA has been supporting this effort by extending the agreement with the City of Atlanta and providing help with signage and marketing, so that we can remind people of this truly important community asset that we have in place. And my last slide, page 17, ARTBOUND program. Just a quick overview of some of the things that we're doing. In the bottom left-hand corner is the ribbon cutting for the reflections under the Grand Street Tunnel by King Memorial. We were really excited to open a artist who provided some portraits of some of the homeless and unhoused individuals that use MARTA. The artist that we worked with is also a social worker, and he and MARTA really wanted to bring some connection to the people, these people who are humans, as we know, and make sure that we connect with them and display to our customers in a real, thoughtful way who these people are. And so that artwork sits in 5 Point Station. And then finally, just earlier this week, we had a great event at H.E. Homes. Councilmember Boone was in attendance with Dr. Holmes' family. You can see the family in the picture, and you can see, more importantly, H.E. Holmes and his commitment to education. We all know his story well, and opening up both UGA and Emory School of Medicine to African-American individuals and leadership around there. While the artwork is impressive, what you can't see, because we're all gleefully standing in front of it, is we actually have some poster boards that the Atlanta History Museum put up, and they're permanently affixed to the station wall. So not just people can see this individual, Dr. Holmes, and not quite understand his story, but we have about 5 panels that explain his story, and we're glad just to make sure that we're connecting the real important civil rights leaders that we've named our station after, and making sure that our customers and the people who frequent our station can see who he is and understand his story and understand how he affected in a positive way so many people. So with that, I will turn it back to either the chair or vice chair. I'm not sure who's running the meeting, and thank you for your time, and see if you have any questions. So thank you. As we're waiting, I would be remiss. Several of our board members attended virtually. Our board chair, Rita Scott, as well as Robbie Ash, Ryan Glover, and Reggie Snyder are all watching virtually. So I appreciate all their support for the city of Atlanta and MARTA.
So I was muted, and thank you very much for that presentation. And welcome to the MARTA board today. As always, your presentation is well done, and it represents the wide range, the spectrum that of work that you all have to do around the city and Metro Atlanta. So thank you very much. I do have a question. Mm-hmm. Of course, mine is about Campbellton Road. And I also want to give a shout out to your team that, with the engagement over the last year, especially these last 4 months or so, we've really been, innovative and trying to meet everyone where they are. I mean, every suggestion that I've posed to your group, your team, they're really trying their best to get those ways of connecting with our residents out there. Like, we have campaign-like signs up and down the corridor, inside communities, the neighborhoods, even at ATM machines and by all bus stops, and for the pop-ups and all engagement, where people can sign in and take the survey. And as you did state, we've had a lot of participation because of them really going out of their way to implement some of the suggestions. And I appreciate that. So I wanted to let you know that and give them a shout out so we can continue this good work.
Yeah. Let me just, thank you for pointing that out. And while right now Campbellton Road is top of mind, and we're advancing that project with significant outreach, we have a lot of other projects, and we're committed to really, that same first class. All of our projects is important. So thanks to thanks to you and your fellow council members for supporting the outreach, because we wouldn't be able to do it without strong partnership with the city council and the city.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And I'm definitely committed, and as well as I'm sure Shepard and Winslow are too, committed to continue the support and the engagement and just working hand in hand to make sure that we're reaching people to get their voices heard about what they'd like to see on Campbellton Road. So we did tell the group that we would have a selection in the near future, and I believe we used the timeline for selecting the mode of transportation, either BRT or LRT, as the early fall. And now I hear you saying it's going to be winter, possibly 2022. So can you explain that a little more for me?
Good question. This is critical that we get this right. And we also have, and this isn't an excuse, but we're bringing more thought into it. We have brought on a new key staff member that I know you're familiar with, Manjeet Renu, who is leading the capital program, and he has been personally active in this. And really, one of the things that we want to consider is, as you know, we advanced two concepts. One was BRT in the right-hand running lane, as well as ART light rail in the center. So BRT in the right-hand lane and light rail in the center. So Manjeet has been working on some internal airing exercises, are really trying to see what the feasibility of center running BRT might look like, and we do want to advance that concept, and then be able to share that with some of the key stakeholders as we think through the what the right solution is for Campbellton Road. It was something that was pointed out in the public engagement process, sort of asking us to consider this center running. So it is taking a few more months, but it is not going to delay the ultimate, not have an impact on the ultimate advancing of this project. So I think it's time worth investing to get the concept done right. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for addressing that. And it sure is fluid. So we'll just continue to discuss it and reach out to one another about any changes in timeline or ways to continue our engagement with the community. So does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Parker?
I do. Andre.
Okay. Chair Dickens, you have the floor.
Good. Thank you, Vice Chair Overstreet. Mr. Parker, thank you for your presentation, and thank you to your board for tuning in and watching. I did have a question related to having to making sure that we keep the MARTA bus shelters clean and taking trash out of the trash cans and those things. It's a lot of litter that happens around them. Are you guys having any issues with keeping that up during COVID?
We continue to work with our contractor out front, and as well as our internal forces to make sure that we're emptying the trash cans and cleaning the shelters. One of the things that kind of a preview, it's not done. We're working on this. We have an app that really is focused on security, so that people can report security on the train, and we're working on updating that app. And one of the reasons we want to update it is to be able to provide just a better forum and not just have singularly police or security issues, but also be able to bring in sort of quality of life issues. I would say sort of, bringing in sort of what the city has around 311 in terms of reports to the city, so that we can, get better information quicker. Our operations people do make sure that our bus operators are reporting when they see unsightly conditions. So we're going to continue to monitor it and then ultimately provide a better forum for our customers to report that stuff and not have to send an email or call our customer service number, but just a quick app that can report it and get some individuals dispatched out to clean up those areas.
Okay. And would a driver of a bus be able to, with the click of a button, as he or she is picking up riders at a bus shelter that has trash overflowing, would they be able to say, here's an issue, and not have to do much to do that? Using one.
Yeah. The click of the button isn't going to work for the bus operator. We do, as I'm sure you know, against the law to operate a motor vehicle with a phone. So we're very, very strict with our operators about using cell phones when the buses are moving. Take that extremely serious, as we should. And they all have a radio that can contact an individual at our bus radio communication center, and they can at the touch of a button make sure that we're responding to those issues quickly. The other thing that we have done is we have also installed trash cans on all of our buses. So we really would prefer our customers to use the trash cans on our buses. We can empty those easily at the end of the line. Operators do that, and make sure the interior of the bus is clean as well, as opposed to dumping trash in trash cans along the city streets where it's difficult to change out trash cans.
Okay, all right. No, in no way was I meaning that a bus driver would use a phone.
I know you will.
There's other device types that have simple communications, and but anyway, I'll digress. We'll figure it out. The other thing is, a lot of people have complained to me about the pace of our More MARTA rollout, and we really wanted to focus on the current rider as we expand to the hopeful rider, the one we're trying to attract to ride. But the current rider having a cleaner station, a station that's got new tiles, new, bathrooms are clean, and just feeling cleaner and more light, and also indicators related to very dependable indicators as to when the train is arriving. And I've seen some of that over the years, but I haven't seen it increase more after we implemented More MARTA. So do we have a list of stations that we're starting with?
So we do have a list. We do have a plan for all of our rail stations around an overhaul, really prioritized around the age and the condition of the station. The other thing that we just rolled out earlier this year is we've completely redone our announcement system for the next train arrivals. Historically, we had this information in our stations for many years. It was simply just providing information on when the train arrives. We now have in every station deployed, and this was launched this year, next train arrival information at every station that has bus routes that interface. We have updated arrival information and any delay information of our bus routes at each station. We have at every station, you can see the working order of every elevator within the system. We know many of our patrons rely on elevators as the only way of accessing the platform. And so if you're in a station, you can check before you through our website, but if you're entering a station, you can see if the station you're going to has an issue with an elevator, so that before you get there, you know. And then that same information tells you the current status of the escalators within that individual station, as well as some other information. So we've completely upgraded the information for our customers through this audio-visual information system called AVIS. And not only have provided the information in a better way, but in a more reliable way as well. We've instituted some new algorithms as well as personal procedures in order to get better information, more accurate information to our customers as they're moving around the system.
Okay. All right. Can you please email me that rollout? Email all of us.
Yeah, we'll roll out the information about the stations, and the audio-visual information. AVIS is completed in all of our stations already.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That concludes my question.
Thank you, Chair Dickens. And thank you very much for being so flexible today, Mr. Parker. I know that, we saved you for last, and you were just fine with that. So I appreciate that. So now so thank you very much. I think, does anyone else have any questions, though, first? I will give you that opportunity. No one signaled me, so I was thinking no, but wanted to ask out loud. Okay, so I hear no one. And so now, Mr. Pace, we are moving on to adjournment. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair. I believe we've been joined during the presentation by Councilmember Westmoreland.
Okay.
Also, that constitutes a quorum. So you may now proceed with adjourning the meeting.
Okay. Mr. Westmoreland, do you have any questions for Mr. Parker?
No, ma'am. I'll make a motion to adjourn, though.
Okay, and I'll second that. Thank you, everyone. See you on Monday.
Thank you.